4. Self-Enlightenment. Objects contemplated in meditative studies. After hearing the Buddha's teaching, Ananda and the assembly, now rid of doubts and illusion, awoke to reality and felt a lightness of body and mind which they had never experienced before. Ananda again wept, prostrated himself with his head at the feet of the Buddha, knelt down, brought his palms together, and said, "O peerless, compassionate, and immaculate King of treasures! You have opened my mind so well by using all kinds of expedients and encouragement to lead me out of darkness in the ocean of suffering. World-honored one, after hearing your Dharma voice, although I have realized that the bright mind of absolute Bodhi of the Tathagata store pervades the 10 directions to bring all the lands therein to the pure and majestic kingdom of absolute enlightenment, the Buddha again blames my useless knowledge acquired by listening, which cannot compare with the true practice and training. I am like a traveler who is suddenly given by the King of Heaven a splendid mansion, which now that he owns it, he should know how to enter. May the Tathagata not forsake his great compassion, and may he teach all the deluded in this assembly how to give up the small vehicle and how to develop their minds in order to attain to ultimate nirvana, so that those who still need study and learning may know how to overcome their clinging to causal phenomena in order to achieve perfect control or dharani and enter the Buddha's all-wisdom." After saying this, he prostrated himself and reverently awaited the holy teaching. Practice of meditation for self-enlightenment. The Buddha took pity on the Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas in the assembly, whose minds set on enlightenment were still not at ease, and also on future living beings in the Dharma-ending age who will want to develop their Bodhi minds and to tread the path of the Supreme Vehicle. He said to Ananda and the assembly, "As you are determined to develop the Bodhi mind, and practice the Tathagata Samadhi tirelessly, you should first ascertain the 2 decisive factors in the development of your mind. What are they? The subjective mind in the meditation. Ananda, as you decide to give up the state of a Shravaka to practice with the Bodhisattva vehicle in order to possess the Buddha's all-wisdom, you should see clearly if the cause ground used as a point of departure and its fruit ground, that is, realization, are compatible or not. Ananda, if you use your worldly mind as a causal point of departure, you will fail in your search for the Buddha vehicle, which is beyond birth and death. Therefore, you should inquire into all the creations of the mind, which in this material world are subject to change and destruction. Ananda, which one of them does not decay? Yet you have never heard that space can perish. Why? Because it is not a created thing. The objective phenomena in the meditation. In your body, that which is solid is the element of earth. That which is liquid is the element of water. That which is warm is the element of fire, and that which moves is the element of wind. These 4 restraining elements divide your pure, perfect, absolute, and enlightened Bodhi into seeing, hearing, knowing, and discerning. Hence the 5 turbid conditions, or kasaya, from the beginning to the end. What is turbidity? Ananda, take for instance clear water, which is so by nature, and dust, earth, ashes, and sand, which are obstructive by nature. If someone throws earth and dust into clear water, the former will lose their obstructive qualities, and the latter its clearness. The result is dirty water, which is called turbid. Your 5 turbid conditions are like that dirty water. Ananda, when you see space in the 10 directions, your perception and the void are inseparable. And since the void is bodiless and your perception unenlightened, both unite into one falseness, which is the first layer, called turbid kalpa. Your body is made of the four elements which limit your mind and divide it into seeing, hearing, feeling, and knowing. The union of water, fire, wind, and earth with your feeling and knowing begets another falseness, which is the second layer, called turbid views. Your recollection and habits give rise to intellection, which responds to the six sense data. This intellect has no independent form apart from the objects of sense, and is devoid of nature apart from perception. It unites with sense data to become another falseness, which is the third layer, called turbid passions, or klesha. In the endless rise and fall of illusions in samsara, your intellect is intent on staying in the world, whereas your karma forces you to transmigrate from place to place. They thus unite into another falseness, which is the fourth layer, called turbid being. Fundamentally, your seeing and hearing are, by nature, the same. But, being limited by sense data, they degenerate into two separate faculties. They are aware of each other within their common nature, but differ in their functions. As a result, they are, as it were, upside down and unite into another falseness, which is the fifth layer, called turbid life.